Are transfer portal woes signs of bigger problems for Shane Beamer's South Carolina football program? Guys, you look at the latest. Yesterday, late last night, Grayson Pup Howard, a 2023 four-star signee at the linebacker position into the transfer portal. He chose South Carolina over Florida, Georgia, Arkansas, and some others. What makes this so fascinating, right? What makes this so fascinating is this. Back when he signed, I think it was December of 2022, Shane Beamer went on record, and I mean, literally went on like a 2 or 3 minute rant on how Pup Howard was bought in and loved the school and was positive. Said he went as far as to say, and I'm paraphrasing, but went as far as to say he would die for the university, right? And, you know, I understand where we're at in college football, right? Like the transfer portal's madness. NIL is madness. And if you know anything about this situation, this kid, it doesn't sound like NIL was the top factor in this scenario. What it sounds like is that the kid was homesick. He's from Jacksonville, Florida, right? South Carolina got him out of the state of Florida. He's from Jacksonville. And what it sounds like is he's homesick, wants to be closer to the family. And it sounds like Gainesville, Florida, the Florida Gators, is going to be his landing spot. But, you know, we've seen this time and time again, right? South Carolina last year was gutted by the transfer portal, struggled. This year, they got Rocket Sanders, right, from Arkansas, the running back. They've gotten some other okay pieces, nothing noteworthy, nothing that's going to move the needle. And they've lost some major guys, Juice Wells being one. Now you got Pup Howard, Stone Blant under the linebacker, just hit the portal for South Carolina, right? So the portal's been a mixed bag. Let's just put it that way. The portal's been a mixed bag for Shane Beamer and the South Carolina Gamecocks. And you take a look at Gamecock Nation, NIL, the nature of the portal, it is what gets blamed, right? It's at the end of the day, it's what gets blamed by not just fans of South Carolina, but all college football fans. A player leaves a certain school, blame it on NIL, blame it on the system, right? Don't blame it on anything going on inside of the building. And with that being said, I just wonder, and I'm not saying that things are terrible or the culture is bad, but I just wonder, after a 5-7 season and a program right now that still sits with the exact same 5-7 coaching staff, I just wonder at what point do fans in Columbia begin to question what's going on behind closed doors? This is not an attack on the culture. This is not an attack on anything that Shane Beamer's doing. But, guys, you have to be honest about the situation. When you have a 5-7 season, right? When you have a 5-7 season and you have the outbursts from Shane Beamer on nearly a weekly basis, and then after the season you have some of your top contributors, guys who aren't looking for more playing time, right? Like, why are guys so eager to get out? Why are guys so eager to go look for the next NIL deal? Juice Wells, gone. He's taking less at Ole Miss. Mario Anderson, the running back, who was given the opportunity of a lifetime, just up and leaves for a bag? He's going to be a starting running back in the SEC next year. Just up and leaves for the bag, and now he's up at Memphis? Stone Blanton, probably going to be a starter next year, or at least in the rotation. And then Grayson Pup Howard, 100% would have been a starter next year. So what is it? Is it all just NIL and portal? Is that all it is? Is that all it is? Or do fans, and I'm not sitting here telling you there is something bigger, but how do you not start to question it when you have the mass portal exodus that South Carolina's had this cycle? 20 guys. And it's the nature of the beast. I totally get that. A lot of these players have left from the standpoint of, hey, they're not playing, or maybe, who knows, maybe they weren't good locker room guys, or I think a lot of these guys were probably told to exit. But when a player like Grayson Pup Howard leaves, like a 4-star signee. You look at his recruiting profile, guys. Like, again, pick South Carolina over some very big schools. And I mean, this is a dude, guys. If you go on social media right now, you're going to see the entire Gamecock fan base, or a lot of them, berating the kid, slamming the kid. He wasn't very good. I've seen he was slow. He was this. This was one of the most celebrated signings of the 2023 class. This was a guy that was looked at as a leader in the 2023 class. To insinuate that losing him is just, who cares? No biggie. Is it the end of the world? I mean, no, it's not. But it's not a good sign when you're losing guys like that. Because what are you selling right now if you're Shane Beamer and company? Well, you're selling recruiting. You're selling culture. You're selling the fact that you can sell that to prospects and get the best talent on campus. And guys, when you have the churn that South Carolina's having, again, I know a lot of schools are dealing with it. But I'm simply posing the question, at what point, does the point ever come? But at what point do South Carolina fans start to question what's going on, right? Because at this point last year, Shane Beamer was untouchable. Then all of a sudden, 5-7 happened. Losses to Tennessee, losses to North Carolina, losses to Clemson. Ugly season start to finish. Then you had all the stuff that happened off the field with Shane Beamer. In the press conferences and the outbursts. And then the portal takes place. And it's just like one thing after another. Now you got no coaching staff changes. That leads me to this, guys, in closing. Could this maybe be tied to a change or lack thereof at DC? Or on the defensive staff, for that matter? Again, I am simply just the messenger, guys. I'm just posing the question. I just wonder at what point, right, Gamecock fans have taken a beating over the last, dare I say, 6 to 8 months. I mean, just even the last 365 days. This goes back to last year, losing Marshawn Lloyd, Jaheim Bell, Jordan Birch, Gilbert Edmond, losing key contributors. Jaheim Bell's mom going on social media. There's more to the story, right? There's more than meets the eye. Like, is there? I simply ask the question, is there? And I think, too, what we're seeing, even if there isn't, guys, having the best culture in college football, having a superior culture in this day and age, a transfer portal, NIL, it's not enough to keep kids around. It's just not. It's not enough. If you don't have the NIL backing. But even with that, guys, I think it's very interesting, to say the least. It's interesting. And I just, it's a mass exodus this offseason. Now, if South Carolina goes out there, goes 8-4 in 2024, and all these new guys they added, right, whether it be Rocket Sanders or some guys from lesser schools, they go out there and they ball out and they perform, then, hey, we're going to look back and say, Shane Beamer played it correctly. But we've got 2 examples right now, or we've got 2 off seasons of building to the portal for Shane Beamer. One of them, he was wildly successful, added Spencer Rattler and Juice Wells. The other, well, you saw how that played out last season. Is Pup Howard just another transfer? Just is what it is? It's the nature of the beast with the portal and NIL? Or is the departure of Pup Howard and others this portal cycle signs of something else, some bigger issues potentially inside of Shane Beamer's program?